For the first time during a Canadian election, a task force is holding regular briefings updating the public on threats from foreign meddling. But a coalition of human rights groups in Canada is calling on the government to do more. Janice McGregor is in our parliamentary bureau in Ottawa. Janice, these advocates wrote to all the major parties asking for their commitments on foreign interference. What did they find?
Well, the top priority for these groups for a long time has been setting up a foreign influence registry. Now, that would be a system for tracking people who are in Canada but working on behalf of a foreign government, a way to sort of know who is engaged in legitimate activities so that if something covert is going on, there is a way to sanction them. This would be similar to the system that's in place, for example, for lobbyists who seek to sway opinions or change legislation on behalf of corporations. So you would register and track and therefore be more on top of these activities. Parliamentarians spent months debating this idea. Eventually, they got to a place where all parties agreed to fast track the legislation that passed last year. But then it kind of went nowhere. The Liberal government did not appoint the commissioner to oversee this system, and the registry itself was not set up before the election. In its response to the inquiry from these groups, looking to know sort of in this campaign what actions the various parties were prepared to commit to going forward, the Liberals did not explain why they didn't make setting up a registry a priority. They suggested more action. The response on that would be coming, but they didn't sort of account for their inability to get it set up so far. The Conservatives, the NDP, the Bloc have been sharply critical of the delay in doing this. The Liberals, however, did commit to hiring 1,000 more RCMP officers to boost Canada's capacity to crack down on the activities of hostile foreign states, which can include attempts at harassment and threats against people living in Canada. And all the parties agreed on the need for more resources to do things like the Conservatives were emphasizing money laundering, for example, as a means of exerting foreign influence in Canada. The NDP also was talking about the need to do more to stop the covert spread of disinformation.
The task force, of course, monitoring foreign interference attempts in this election, held its last regular briefing earlier this week. What did we hear from them?
Yeah, every Monday they have been calling reporters in. They have not found, they say, anything that in their opinion would constitute a threat to the overall integrity of the election or the vote in any particular riding. But they have detected several ongoing attempts to spread Chinese Communist Party propaganda through social media. The most recent one, and this is something they've briefed the Conservative Party on, one of the Conservative candidates, his name is Joe Tay, he's running in a Greater Toronto area seat. He has been targeted specifically for his advocacy for democracy in Hong Kong. CSIS, however, does not believe that this disinformation campaign against Tay is proof that China wants to put its finger on the scale and support one party versus another to win this election. Instead, for China, CSIS believes this is more about silencing those who would speak out against Beijing.
In this case, in terms of the discussion that's been happening during the course of the election, we should keep in mind that it really is one party agnostic. So it is to stifle the criticism of the government and those that dissent against those positions, in this case as it relates to the special administrative region of Hong Kong and of Mr. Tay particularly.
So what do you do about this? Officials have apparently gone back to the social media platforms involved, which is not only sort of WeChat, Chinese language social media, but also in the case of Tay, included activities on Facebook, asking them to kind of cut this out, stop this, enforce the rules they say they have in place to guard against fake news in some cases. But the thing is, the task force can't force them to censor or take this material down. It's just, asking for them to voluntarily comply. The task force also acknowledged Monday that there might be some voters out there who, in the wake of transnational repression and foreign meddling attempts, feel a bit afraid to cast their vote, which is kind of sobering to consider. They tried to assure Canadians that their votes are safe and secure, and they do matter in this campaign.
Thank you so much for that, Janice. That's CBC's Janice McGregor.